Hey everybody, this is Perry Gruber, the founder of Positively Focused and the Transamorous Network, and I am extremely pleased to share with you today a full-length recorded session of a client session. This person was willing to share the session because we both agreed that it offered tremendous value for people who read both the Transamorous Network blog and the Positively Focused blog, both of which offer almost identical content. I'm not going to speak much longer because I think the value exists in the session itself and what the client and I talked about. But what I want to have you focus on particularly is the shift that happens with the client as he moves through the hour-long session. He came to the session feeling pretty despondent about his week, but by the end of the session, after some very simple shifts in his stories or his thoughts or vibration, depending on whether or not you're coming from Positively Focused or the Transamorous Network, he found himself feeling way better. And as a result of that, had insights to aspects of the week prior that he didn't have when he first came to the session. That indicates how quickly one can shift their reality. And so, without further ado, I want to offer my deepest appreciation to Damien, the client, who was willing to share this session recording, and to all of my clients who are willing to dive in and transform their personal lives and their reality simply by changing their perspectives of both of those things. So again, without further ado, enjoy this video.
It's felt like a long week so far, and it's only Tuesday.
Well, that is a something you want to get on top of.
Yeah,
If that long week is feeling like below eight-ish, if you're feeling a little negative about what's going on, you want to get on top of those stories before they gather more momentum.
yeah. I've been trying, and I definitely think the universe has been trying to encourage me and stuff. For some reason, just been dragging. I mean, I did have like a cold, but that was probably a manifestation of other things, of course, is what I would imagine you would say. So,
Yes, it is resistance.
so um, yeah, so nothing real negative or anything. Just been feeling run down and um, yeah, just kind of I think what's getting to me, I just this general kind of pervasive feeling since last Tuesday. Well, not Tuesday necessarily,
Yeah,
but
because Tuesday you were in a really good place.
yeah, I don't know what day it was, but just feeling kind of like life passing me by, kind of like I'm a spectator, sort of, if you will. Um, just sort of the days, just sort of blending together. I mean, I was inside most of the weekend, and I don't know, just not feeling like I have much to look forward to, I guess, is the general feeling. Um,
So let me stop that momentum and ask you,
yeah,
because so one of the challenges I have in this work is that I can't be with my clients 24/7. And so
right.
I'm going to ask some questions to try to flesh that out for me a little bit because
Yeah.
the momentum that you're expressing in this story did not just come out of nowhere. So question number one is,
Sure.
um, can you remember can you remember Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of last week how many times you did one of the following? Went for a walk, meditated, pre-paved in the morning, pre-paved in the evening.
Um, I went for a walk most of those days. Um,
Okay,
I would say,
hang on,
yeah.
talking about that one, when you were on a walk, how often when you were walking You said it each of those days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or sorry, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So on those walks, were you deliberately
Not Saturday.
expressing,
Yeah.
not Saturday, okay. Were you deliberately expressing appreciation for the beautiful surroundings and for the beautiful people and for the wonderful cars and for the fact that we have roads on this in this country and wealth and all the other wonderful things about your life experience? Did you do that while you were walking?
um, I remember a couple of days I was trying to be just this general idea of gratefulness. I wasn't necessarily being intentional about it though.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so then the others are uh, pre-paved in the morning, pre-paved in the evening, or meditated.
Um, I in the evening or in the morning, I'm usually kind of in a rush. I get up like right before I kind of have to leave. Um,
Mm.
I try to think positively before I get into work, on the drive into work. I don't know if you necessarily consider it pre-paving, but it's more kind of general stuff about trying to be productive and useful for the workday.
Mhm.
Um, Not necessarily in the evenings. I try to think, before I go to bed, like I'll have pleasant dreams, pleasant thoughts. I mean, I even had a pretty nice dream the other night about, um, even being next to someone. It was very warm and comforting. It was just kind of just a general embodiment of someone that I was attracted to. There was no specific face or anything.
Mhm.
So that was kind of nice. And then I have trouble meditating.
What does that
I
sound? What
usually
does that look like? Like you can't
I
still your mind, or you can't sit? Is it physically uncomfortable, or
well either I can relax if I actually like lay down, like as far as like I can take a nap during the day and it's really pleasant and nice, but I don't like doing that because it can kind of mess with my sleep cycle. So usually if during the afternoon or something, if I sit down, I I'll try to do like breathing, like breathing extra, like focusing on your breath, like they usually recommend. Um,
so did you
but
do that
yeah,
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday?
um, I don't recall which day I did it. It was only one time last week, so
Okay,
it
okay,
wasn't consistent. Yeah,
that's fine. Okay, so now,
yeah,
so it is not a mystery where you're at because, and it's really because it's obvious that you're not being very deliberate about the key elements of the work in order to
yeah.
generate positive momentum, and you're for better or for worse, Damien, your kind of default setting relative to the emotional scale is a little bit below 8.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so in order for you to create new momentum, you're going to have to be deliberate about these four things plus some other things we've talked about. And the reason why you want to do it, and this is wonderful to say because it's so accurate, is that it is out of the positive momentum that you, everything okay there?
Uh,
I'm now looking at your TV. There we
there.
go. Okay.
I guess I clicked a button. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's okay.
So
Out of the positive momentum will come everything that you're wanting. And so, and here's the kicker, the sweetness about where you're at. This kind of, wow, this week is going long, and that other really general statement you said about life passing you by. Those expressions and the feelings that come with them are telling you to do the work, because negative emotion is always telling you that you're heading in a direction that you're not going to be pleased with when you head more in that direction. So your broader perspectives on our side, saying, Damien, come on, man, you've been doing this work with Perry for quite a while now. You need to be doing this on a daily basis, preferably on a moment by moment basis. And it's worth the effort because that's where your girlfriend is. That's where your wife is, if that's what you're ultimately wanting. That's where your satisfying work is going to come from. That's where the money's going to come from. That's where relationships with your family are going to improve. Everything that you want is over there. But you're over here, no offense, kind of being a little lazy
None taken.
relative to the work. And so you're getting the results of the degree to
Uh,
which you are putting effort into the work.
for some reason, I often find it like painful is probably too strong of a word, but almost discomforting, like painful to try to like psych myself out when I feel like I'm in just kind of a meh or whatever. Like I'll try to think of things about to be grateful for or positive about, but it feels kind of like I'm dragging part of myself along, and it feels, I don't know, it feels like
Forced.
painful that sometimes I feel like I'm like lying to myself, that maybe, I don't know if that makes
It
sense.
does make
Or
sense because when you're in the momentum of the momentum you're in, the momentum
yeah.
you're in is not going to want you to leave. So you have to move through that. You have to move through that. And part of the challenge, so let's do it together. So you're obviously in a funk. I can feel it, you can feel it. Okay? So let's
Yeah.
let's let's
Yeah.
do some let's do some of the work now in order to have you feel what it feels like to move out of the funk. Begin. So what we're going to do right now, Damien, is we're going to do what you want to do when you're not on the call and you're feeling yourself slumping. It's better
Hmm.
to do it before you get to the bottom of the slump where you're chronically feeling blah. It's better to do it before that. But if you get to this point, that's fine too. It's just a little more, it takes a little more effort to move out of it. So the first thing you do is you look to see where you are on the scale. So where are you on the scale? Which emotion fits with how
I'm
you feel?
trying to think if, I mean, there's on here, it has doubt, worry, blame, and discouragement.
Yep.
So I don't know if I mean, I'm not blaming anyone for anything, maybe blaming myself for things passing me by. So I would say somewhere between doubt and discouragement for
Okay,
sure. I don't
good.
know if you could describe what I'm in as doubt or discouragement. I don't know if I'm worried. I'm not blaming it, but yeah, potentially discouragement, but definitely doubt. So
Right. Okay.
definitely not above doubt. So
Okay, good. So let's start in that general vicinity. So where you are, you're in that general facility. So the first thing you want to do in this particular exercise is you want to, well, let me generally talk about how the exercise works. How the exercise works is you deliberately conjure from within yourself a thought that will trigger for you greater alignment with your broader perspective. And when you do that, you will move up the scale because the closer you are in alignment with your broader perspective, the better you feel. Okay?
okay.
Okay. So, and then when you conjure that thought, you speak it. So this isn't about affirmations. You're not making an affirmation. What you're doing is you're expressing with your mouth a thought that you have conjured that feels better than the kind of general malaise that you're experiencing in the moment. So right now you're around doubt or worry or discouragement. So the first thing you want to do usually when you're doing this exercise, this practice, is you want to soothe the resistance you're feeling. And so the question is, resistance of what? Well, you want to soothe your resistance about where you are. That's a large component of the negative feelings, is that you're resisting being where you are. So, armed with that information, give me a thought, express a thought that has you soothe being in doubt, worry, or discouragement.
Okay. Um, well, I mean, what comes to mind is that it's good that I'm aware of where I'm at. It's good that I'm aware that um, that I'm doubting the path before me. That I know that I have. It's good that I know I have work to do. That I know that there is work to do. That there is a way out. That
Excellent, excellent,
yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
Okay, that was a better thought than most people can conjure. at this first early stage of practice. So that was well done. So now say it again, but say it more simply.
I'll say, well, in a way that another way that I could say it is there's it's perfectly reasonable and realistic to be optimistic because there are ways out of this. Not there. I don't have to stay where I'm at. It's okay to be where I'm at because I don't have to stay where I'm at.
Very
It's
good.
it's transient.
Okay,
It's
now
transitive or something.
say
Yeah.
all that again, but say it more simply.
Okay.
You can break it up into two thoughts. Yeah.
It's okay to have doubts. I don't have to stay in that doubt though.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So now, do you feel a little bit of relief in saying those two statements?
It feels like I'm grateful that I can be compassionate to myself, I guess. That I feel
Okay,
kind of
good.
compassion towards myself, like kind of stepping away from myself. Part of me is like in a good way, not like disassociative, but like stepping.
That's okay.
Basically,
That's okay.
putting a
So
putting a hand around my shoulder.
hang on.
Okay, sorry.
Calm down the number of words that you're using. So essentially
Okay.
what you're saying is you're feeling a little better, because before you said you were feeling kind of in a slump, but now you're saying you're feeling compassion for yourself. That's a better feeling than what you feel when you're in a slump, right?
Right.
Okay. So now you want to acknowledge that with a very simple statement. I
I
feel
uh,
better.
I feel better. Okay.
Yes.
Too simple. Yeah.
Okay. So now say it like this. Huh. I feel better. Say it just like that.
I feel better.
Okay.
I do.
So now
Yeah.
now you want to look up what the next one up on the scale is. So on my list, it's disappointment is right above doubt. Is that what you are?
Right.
Okay. So now I want you to express a thought that has you feel disappointment.
Well, that's pretty easy. I feel, I feel disappointed about where I am in life. I felt like I'd have.
Stop.
Yeah.
Keep it
Oh, sorry.
simple. So just say
Okay.
that first part. Say it again.
I thought I would be
No, not
farther
that part.
along.
Not the
Okay.
first part.
Okay.
The second part is worse. Just say the first part. I'm disappointed with where I'm at.
I'm disappointed with where I'm at.
And just leave it at that. Everything else is going to create negative momentum that you were starting to say.
Okay.
So say it again.
I'm just acknowledging that I
don't acknowledge it.
State. Oh,
don't
okay.
acknowledge it. Just say where you're at. So say it. Say that first sentence again.
Okay. I'm disappointed with where things are at. Yeah.
You said with where I'm at. Say it like that. Make it personal.
All right. I'm disappointed with where I am at.
Okay. Do you feel disappointed?
It's
kind of hard.
Even saying it, I don't. It feels like I'm almost like stepping away from it a little bit. And
that's good. That's good. Okay, say it again.
I'm disappointed where. It's almost like I'm disappointed where Damien's at.
That's fine. That's fine. Now say something else in that same range that expresses disappointment. So say what you said, just say it differently.
Okay.
Keep it simple, Damien.
Okay. You mean well, it's pretty, I mean, I was going to say, I thought I would be farther along or something.
That's good.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Yeah. I thought I would be farther along by now. So.
Okay. So now we're going to skip overwhelm and go right into frustration, irritation, and impatience, or jealousy or envy. So now say something that expresses one of those emotions.
I guess what I was saying a little bit was kind of the impatience. Like I wanted to be at I guess at 36, I wanted to be farther. I wanted to have more figured out,
Okay. Say that again. At 36, I wanted to have more figured out.
At 36, I wanted to have more figured out. So.
Now add, and it's frustrating that I don't.
And say the whole frustrating, thing. And it's frustrating that at 36, I um, I can't remember what
I
I wanted
wanted
to
to have
be
more figured
more
out.
figured out. Yeah, and it's frustrating that I don't. So
Say it again.
yeah, at
Say it again.
36, I wanted to have more figured out, and I'm frustrated that I don't.
Say it again, except this time use irritated.
Okay, I'm 36, and I wanted to have more figured out by now, and I'm irritated about it.
Okay, that you don't.
That I don't. Yeah.
Say it again, now this time use impatient.
Okay. I'm 36 and I wanted to have more figured out by now, and I'm feeling impatient about it. So
Very
about
good.
that. Yeah.
Very good. Now say the same thing and add, and I'm jealous that others have it figured out.
Okay. I'm 36, and I wanted to have more figured out, and I feel jealous that others
Have it figured
do
out.
seem to
Yeah, there
have
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Very good. Okay, so now you want to move up and say a statement that expresses pessimism about the subject, which is you not having it figured out. So say something that expresses pessimism.
Um, I guess I'm a little confused on the difference between discourage or disappointment and pessimism, or I guess to me.
Discouragement looks backward at the moment backward, and
Okay.
pessimism looks forward,
Okay.
like it's an
Um,
expectation.
yeah. Uh, well, I feeling impatient about where I'm at. It seems um, I I'm feeling pessimistic that I will have it figured out anytime soon.
Very good.
So yeah,
Say that again. Say that again.
being impatient where I'm at, I feel pessimistic about having it figured out anytime soon.
Very good. Now say just the last part. Say I'm pessimistic that I'll have it figured out anytime soon.
I'm pessimistic that I'll have my things figured out anytime soon.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
That was good. I can feel the pessimism coming out of you. Okay, so
Okay.
now say it again.
um, I feel pessimistic that I'm gonna have things figured out anytime soon.
Say it again.
So I feel pessimistic that I'm gonna have things figured out anytime soon.
Say it again.
I feel pessimistic that I'm gonna have things figured out anytime soon.
Say it again.
I feel pessimistic that I'm gonna have things figured out anytime soon.
Very good. Say it one more time.
Okay. I feel pessimistic that I'm gonna have things figured out anytime soon.
Now say I'm getting bored with this.
Uh,
Say that.
I'm
Say what I just said.
okay. I'm getting bored with dwelling on pessimism.
Very good.
So
Say it again.
I'm feeling bored with dwelling on pessimism.
Yeah.
So
Say it again.
I'm feeling bored with dwelling on pessimism.
Yeah. Now say, I would like to feel content instead of this boredom.
I would like to feel content instead of feeling bored.
Yeah.
So
Say it again.
I like to feel content instead of feeling bored.
Yeah. Do you feel content? Are you getting there?
I felt kind of like when I breathed, I felt some
Yes.
of that negativity move out.
Yes.
So
That's
yeah.
so let's take a pit stop and acknowledge what you just said. So the work is working. This practice is working. And this is the thing, Damien. You must deliberately choose to do these practices that we talk about on a daily basis, preferably on a moment by moment basis, in order to get the result that you just expressed. And we've only just started. We're just at 8. We're going to get up to probably 2 or 3 in a few minutes here. So the process works. You just express the result that it's supposed to produce, which is a little bit of the negativity being released through your breath. Okay. Okay. Let's get back on the racetrack. Okay. So now
I do have, for some reason, I have some resistance that is coming across as anxiety for some reason.
Okay,
I don't
good.
know why.
I do.
Yeah.
So now in this practice, when you feel the resistance expressed as anxiety, you want to take a little diversion and do
Okay.
this exercise on that. So thank you for
Okay.
sharing that. So now you've noticed it. So now, so you're feeling a little bit of anxiousness or nervousness. Is that correct?
Something, yeah, like that.
Oh,
So,
okay. So something like that. So say you're going to say to yourself something like, "Huh, there's something going on here that still feels a little negative."
okay.
Say that.
There's something going on that feels still negative.
Now
Some reason.
say,
Yeah.
now say, I felt some of this negativity leave me when I breathed out.
Okay. I felt some of that negativity leave me when I breathed out. So,
Now say, I want to feel more negative feelings leaving me.
can I say specifically anxiety, or
Yeah,
can I
that'd be,
say,
you
yeah,
can say that.
yeah?
Uh-huh.
I really have a strong desire to feel this anxiety or nervousness lifted away, to breathe it away, to be gone,
Okay, so that's a little strong,
to be
and
peace.
and
Okay.
you're that's why I was really general. So that was really
Okay.
strong relative to emphasizing the anxiety. So let's
Okay.
let's back it off a little bit and be more general with the statement.
Could I even say I want to feel peace? I want to
That would
feel
be
the,
good.
yeah,
Yes. You could
yeah.
say, in fact, why don't you try and see if saying I want to feel hopeful is some
Okay.
place you can get to. So try that.
Okay. I like to feel hopeful. I want to feel hopeful. Yeah.
So we're going to take another pit stop, and I'm going to say the reason why you're feeling anxiety is because you're kind of on the spot, and you're not used to doing the practice, and so it's a little bit nerve-wracking to have someone coaching you through things you're needing to say when you don't really have practice doing it. And so
Okay.
there's a story that you have that has you judging yourself, and wondering if you're doing it right. It happens with all the clients. So that's why you're
Okay.
feeling that little bit of anxiousness, and it's okay. Okay. So go back
Okay.
and say the expression about hopefulness. I want to feel hopeful.
I want to feel hopeful.
Okay. Say it again.
I want to feel hopeful.
Say, I like it when I feel hopeful.
I like it when I feel hopeful.
Now
It
say,
feels nice. Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So you're already on the track to feeling hopeful now, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now, don't bullshit me. It sounded like, so
Well,
you can't,
I know
hang on,
what
listen,
my,
listen,
oh, sorry,
listen,
sorry.
listen, listen, listen. You cannot do what you did, Damien, and not feel some hopefulness. I gave you the statement to say, and then you followed up with a statement that was even better that I didn't say. That couldn't have happened unless you were in the range of hopefulness. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. So you're there. You're hopeful. So now say, I like feeling hopeful.
I like feeling hopeful.
Now say this. I'm hopeful that the continued practice of this exercise is going to make me feel better. I'm hopeful that the continued practice of this exercise is going to make me feel better.
I'm
I'm
hopeful that the
hopeful.
continued practice of this exercise will make me feel better.
Very good. Say it again.
I'm hopeful that the continued and consistent practice of
No,
this
no, no, no.
exercise will
So,
make me
so
feel
don't.
okay.
So you can't go there because we're
Don't
not
put that
talking about.
pressure. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You're
Okay.
only in the now. You're only in the
And then
now.
okay.
Yeah. So say it again. Say it again.
Okay. I'm hopeful that the continued practice of this exercise will make me feel better.
Now say this. It's already made me feel better.
Yeah, it's already made me feel better.
So now say, I'm optimistic that I'm going to feel even better in a few minutes.
I'm optimistic that I'm going to feel even better here soon. So
Very good. Say it again.
I'm optimistic that I'm going to feel even better soon.
Okay, now let's take another pit stop. Do you feel like you're trying to pressure yourself out of the 13, 14, 15, 16 place you were before? I'm not going to use the words, the negative emotions. You don't, do you? It
Uh,
feels really kind of
no,
natural.
because it was gradual. Yeah, I was going to say
Yes,
it was
Damien.
I wasn't trying to jump. I was
Yes.
and I even got to what I was thinking when we got to hopefulness is I also had this feeling of gratefulness because I know that I know that I have this my whatever you however you want to describe it, the third eye is partially open because I'm always seeing little signs. And I was talking about T-ball last week, and
Yes.
the T-ball was even happening. I even
Yes.
had the thought, like, T, which made me like emotional in a good way. T stood for trust. It was like trust ball, trusting the
Good.
universe.
Good.
So yeah. And someone even thanked me for something that I felt like the universe teed something up. I took the action, and then like days later, someone thanked me out of the blue, kind of, for that. So I
Okay.
was like, it
So
wasn't me.
okay, so Damien,
So yeah,
this is
yeah, sorry.
important. What again?
Yeah,
You're showing yourself that this works. So think about this.
yeah,
You know intellectually about vibration, and you know
yeah.
from your engineering that if you're on one frequency, you can't be on another frequency unless you move to that frequency, right? Right?
Um, Generally, you have a you can you can harmonize with multiple, but you generally have only one dominant frequency. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Now, when we first started, we're in a pit stop, remember? When we first
yeah.
started the call, when we first started the call, you didn't mention any of what you just mentioned, the positive things that happened in your life about the T-ball, it meaning trust, about people who were thanking you for, and as you were saying those things, your face was lighting up. So you have moved by moving from discouragement and worry and doubt up to hopefulness. You changed frequencies. And when you changed frequencies, you were able to see the same period of time, the last few days, in a totally different light because you tuned into
Yeah.
those things.
I sort of wanted to mention them, but at the same time, kind of, it almost felt like it wasn't as easy to do. It felt like I was trying to force, like, jumping. Like, I wanted to
Because you
mention them,
weren't
but
on
it
the
didn't feel as,
frequency. Yeah,
yeah.
you
It
weren't
felt
on the
disharmony.
frequency.
It's like part of my brain was even doubting though that was significant. It was like, well, that was
Yes.
a pass. It was like, well, that was a passing thing. That was nice to have experienced that, and now it's all just, yeah.
So so
So
so so
yeah,
dig into that, Damien. Think it
yeah,
through. Think logically relative to this work. So your brain is not the thing that causes you to align with your broader perspective. Your brain attracts thoughts that are consistent with whatever vibration you're emanating. And if you don't emanate the vibration of the thoughts that you want that are positive, your brain is going to contest it, which is exactly what you just said. Your brain didn't think it was relevant, essentially, is what you were saying. That is the evidence of the work working.
mm.
You following?
um, yeah. It wasn't that I didn't think it was relevant, but it was just like, it was kind of dismissing. My brain was sort of fighting it. It was being dismissive of the significance of it. Yeah.
Okay. Dismissive,
Yeah. So no,
irrelevant, it's
or sorry.
basically the
Yeah, I don't
same
know.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Your brain is fighting with me, and it's okay because I'm a contender. Okay, so let's
Could
go
have
to the
been a
next.
contender.
So you got that reference, huh? You're too
Yeah.
young to know that reference. Okay, let's go to the
What's the Godfather or whatever?
I
Or
thought
is
it was
it
it's the
could have been a contender?
it's about the fighter. It's
Rocky?
no, not Rocky. It's Robert De Niro. It's the fighter movie. The boxer, I think it's called. I can't remember. We're getting off track. Let's get back on track.
Anyway, okay.
Okay. So the point of this pit stop is to get you to recognize, Damien, that at the core of who you are and at the surface, this practice is working. It's shifting your vibration. And as it shifts, as your vibration goes up, you you have a different view of the same information you were looking at before, but you can only sift out bits and pieces of the information consistent with whatever you're vibrating at. And since you rose to a higher level, those thoughts that you thought were irrelevant when you were lower, which they were, now become relevant because you are relevant to them.
Mm,
You
okay.
see? Okay, let's get back on the racetrack. All right. So now
Cool.
we're at optimism, bro.
Optimus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I want you to say, um, given everything Perry just said, I believe that this is working.
Yeah. Given everything we just said and the process I saw through with my own, I just experienced with my own self. I have a knowing, that Yeah, more than a belief, and a knowing that this process works. Yeah.
Okay, okay, good. So what you just did is you jumped from 6 to 1. So now, and that's good. So now I want you to appreciate that mega jump. So say something that expresses appreciation for that jump. And start with an exclamation.
Um, I mean, kind of what I was saying earlier is like, I'm happy.
No, no, no,
I'm
no, no, no,
I'm
no, no.
happy.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Start with an exclamation. That's like, hey,
So,
wow, amazing. That's an exclamation.
okay. It's
Nope. Start with an
okay.
exclamation.
I would say it's amazing how simple this can be.
You have to start with an exclamation.
Oh, like okay, amazing. This is so simple.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. Now say it again.
Amazing. This can be so simple. This is so
Yes.
simple. Yeah.
Yes. Now say, I really appreciate this practice.
Yeah, I really appreciate this practice, this process.
You do, don't you? You do, don't you? You do, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, you do. Say it again.
I really appreciate this practice. Practice.
Yeah. Now say this. I appreciate that I went through this just now.
Yeah, I appreciate that I just went through this. Yeah.
Right now.
Right now. So
say it again.
I appreciate that I just went through this right now.
I like appreciating myself.
I like appreciating myself.
Say that again. I know it's hard for you. Say it again.
Yeah. Okay. I like appreciating myself.
It feels good receiving my own appreciation.
It feels good receiving my own appreciation.
Yeah. I recognize that I'm at the top of the scale now.
I recognize that I'm at the top of the scale now. Top of the world.
Yeah. So you can say it. Say it.
I'm the top of the world.
Yes. Excellent. Now what you do once you get here, this wonderful place on top of the world, is you amplify it. Repeat after me. I love being on top of the world.
I love being on top of the world.
It sure feels better than feeling doubt.
It feels way better than feeling doubt.
Yes. I love it when I'm here. Wow. Say it just like that.
I love it when I'm here. Wow.
Say it with more.
Okay.
Say it with more.
I love being here. Wow.
Top of the world. Yeah. It feels good.
It feels good. It feels great.
Yes, it feels great. Doesn't it feel great?
Yeah. It does. It feels great.
So now, Damien, it took us 10 minutes to do what we just did. You said yourself that it was simple, and it is simple. It's really simple. So this is the practice when you get in a below 8 space. And the closer you are to 8, the less time it has to take. And with practice, it doesn't have to take hardly any time at all. So it's a very easy thing. You can even start your day with this. If you wake up from a wonderful dream, you can just acknowledge, wow, what a wonderful dream. And automatically you're at the top. And then you say, wow, I'm at the top of the world again. I love waking up at the top of the world again. I want to wake up every morning at the top of the world. It feels great at the top of the world. I love knowing that I can wake at the top of the world. This is amazing, like that.
Okay. I love knowing that I can wake up at the top of the world every day. It's amazing.
Yeah. And if you wake up, feeling a little blasé because you went to bed feeling blasé, then you can start right from there. Blasé is okay. I know I can get out of this because I got out of it the other day with Perry, and I don't need Perry to do this. I can be content with where I am right now because I know it can change at any moment, and now's the moment. And if you say that, now's the moment, then boom, you move up to optimism.
Awesome.
I'm optimistic about moving up. Look, I moved up from blasé to optimism. That's awesome. I have positive expectation that the next moment I'm going to be in an even better place. Oh my gosh, I am in a better place because positive expectation is a better place. I really appreciate this exercise. Now you're at number 2. I really appreciate this exercise. This exercise feels really good. I love feeling really good. I want to feel good more often. I like knowing that this exercise can be used no matter where I am. Now you're at knowing, which is number 1, or should be on your list. It is on mine.
Mine says joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation.
Knowledge.
And then 2 says passion, 3 says enthusiasm on this list. But
perfect.
I think it's similar.
Yeah. So now, Damien, here is the really the crucial moment, and that is this. You know too much, both intellectually and now with practice through this work together, to be a lazy bum on this work. You have to, Damien, take what you know in your head and get it in your freaking heart. And you can't do it if you don't do it. And you do it by meditating, by speaking positive aspects, by journaling about the positive aspects you think about, which amplifies the positive aspects you're thinking about, pre-paving the morning, pre-paving the evening, and then in between, speaking positive aspects about wherever you are, even if you're someplace that you don't like, and amplifying the positive aspect of knowing that you don't like it, which is how we started here. Do you follow what I'm saying? I'm kind of calling you on the carpet here because you know so much.
What was the last thing you said? The
calling you on the carpet part, or the part before that?
Part right before that. You said.
You
said after. Sorry, I don't.
It's okay.
Anyway, I know.
So I said I'm going to say it again. So I said, recognizing that even when you're feeling in a negative space, that's okay, because you can move out just as easy as you did here. You can even move out faster with a little practice, Damien. And then in just a little while of practice, you'll never be in that place again. Or if you are, it's just like a split second, because you will, in your chronic state of being at 1, 2, or 3 on that scale, when you're not in there, that will suck. And that sucky feeling will catapult you back into 3, 2, or 1, because it just feels so much better being there.
I guess I have a question. If you're around someone who's sad, or if you're watching something that, has some pretty sad components of it, how do you still stay there and appreciate that without, I guess one of my thoughts over the week was like, is this a frequency hygiene kind of thing, almost like
what do you mean by that, by frequency hygiene?
I mean,
these are good questions, by the way.
Yeah, I guess one of the criticisms of kind of the idea of a frequency or vibration or whatever is that it can cause you to sort of be detached, because you're always you get focused on trying to keep my vibe clean, my vibe good.
Yes.
That I sort of distance myself from. So
for a while. So here's the thing. For a while, so think more generally in the terms of vibration and momentum. So in the general idea of vibration and momentum, you are harmonizing, your word relative to frequencies, you're harmonizing with those who are on the same frequency as you, as your dominant vibration. So the fact that you have someone in your mix that is sad is telling you that part of the frequency you're vibrating at is at that level. And so you are hygienically cleaning you are being hygienic in your vibration. You're wanting to raise your level of vibration such that those types of people don't find you. But because the world is full of contrast, you are inevitably every once in a while going to be bumping into people like that. And when you do, if you have the practice, their vibration collapses into yours. But if you don't have the practice, Damien, your vibration collapses into theirs. Because a sad person more than likely has dominant sadness going on inside of them as their vibration.
Well, I guess specifically, it wasn't necessarily a person. It was something I watched. It was a longer movie. This was a couple nights ago, and it was really beautiful. I mean, specifically, it was called it was a movie with Casey Affleck. It's Ben Affleck's brother, Casey Affleck, and it was a movie where he had lost his 2 daughters and an infant son.
This is the Academy Award winner. Yeah, it's called I know what you're talking about. It won an Academy Award.
I want to see Chesapeake, but it's not. It's like Manchester something or something like that.
Man of Manchester. I know what you're talking about. So here's a story. This is really good. So I'm
Yeah.
consistently at 321 on my vibrational scale. When that movie won the award, I wanted to watch it. So I turned it on, and after the first 5 minutes, I could not stand that movie because it was so
Okay.
vibrationally low. The reason why you could enjoy it, the beauty of it, is because you resonate at that level of vibration, and you don't want to be there, Damien, because nothing is there that you want other than that movie.
Well, I guess my question is, because there was still, there was still something beautiful about the movie. There were
Yes,
some powerful things. So I guess, um,
I know where you're going with this.
yeah,
I'm gonna answer, respond to the
and
statement
that's
that you
why I was
haven't
talking about
made.
the
Yeah,
hygiene and
yeah, yeah,
and disconnecting or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's something that obviously comes back to religion and my,
Yes,
Christian viewpoints on
yes,
obviously on suffering and
yes,
forgiveness and
yes,
martyrdom, all these kind of,
yes,
what I mean,
yes. Of course,
and sacrifice. Yeah, yeah,
yes. Of
yeah,
of course, there is beauty in those things because every
yeah.
subject has wanted and unwanted, beauty and not beauty, so to speak, or positive and negative. But it's
Yeah.
not worth the vibrational dip to go get that beauty when you can be at 3, 2, or 1 and have beauty there. It's not
Okay.
worth it, Damien. That's why I didn't continue watching that Manchester by the Sea. That's why.
But yeah, yeah.
That's
I was
why I
thinking
did.
Chesapeake for
Yeah,
some,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Chesapeake Bay, yeah, kind of
So
thing.
it's just not worth it. And when you get chronically at 3, 2, and 1, you'll feel the same way. You become what I call a vibrational snob. You're just not willing to go down there and mine the beauty when you can be up here and mine wonderful diamonds and platinum level beauty. There's a lot of beauty
Okay.
out there at the level of 3, 2, and 1 that will satisfy you much more greatly than the little bit of beauty that you find in below 8 experiences.
Okay. And this is kind of a big, I didn't necessarily could express it like we're expressing it now, but this was a big part of my thought since we talked last. Things have been, this is
Good.
kind of like, not necessarily habits from the past. Like I said, it wasn't
It
anything
is.
bad. It was just it was just, I guess it wasn't even religious programming. I wasn't watching anything religious necessarily. It was just, I guess maybe it's still like unresolved thing inside, still like questioning, like I don't know exactly, like,
Yeah. There's a momentum within you, a belief constellation that has momentum. It's the same momentum, Damien, that had you feeling the way you were feeling when you expressed yourself at the beginning of this call. It's that momentum. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to put your finger on the exact source, the exact origin. All you have to know is that you have the momentum. And because of that, instead of focusing on that momentum, do something about it, which is what we've been doing for the last 20 minutes.
yeah.
It's really important. You you've got to get out of your head and into your heart, into the action. And by action, I'm not talking about doing physical things. I'm talking about thinking in a very particular way, a way that has you at the top of that scale. It is the source of everything you want, Damien. The most important thing being feeling delicious, feeling wonderful, feeling the power of your own creative capabilities. That's where it
Mining
all
the beauty
is.
from the joy, from a place of joy,
Yes.
not trying to mine it,
Yes.
from a,
Yes.
not having this like beautiful poignancy of suffering and everything, which there
Yes.
can be beauty in that, but that's not where, that, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Hmm. I mean, and that's something to be grateful for, that the universe, no matter what, is going to find a way to show you beauty or whatever. But
Well,
it's just responding to your own intention.
yes.
It's like, what once you much rather be mining the beauty from a place of joy and levity and playfulness, and you know,
Because here's the thing. Here's what happens when you're at 3, 2, or 1, and then you think about those kinds of experiences. You recognize that those experiences are happening so that the experiencers can get that where they are can be better. And when you can get that, Damien, then you don't make that experience a below 8 experience. It becomes for you a 1, 2, 3 level experience. It doesn't mean you want to go down there and experience it, but from where you are, you can see it as a, wow, that's, isn't it fantastic that that guy is creating that reality for himself? And from his broadest perspective, his broader perspective is trying to get him to see that he can be in a better place, and he's not getting it. That's pretty funny, actually, because I know he's an eternal being and he's just having a good time with that game he's creating down there. Like that. That's how your broader perspective is seeing everything, including your own experience. So this last week, when you've been thinking, "Wow, my life has passed me by," the reason why you feel kind of blasé and negative about it is because your broader perspective is saying, "Look at my guy down there wallowing in his own self pity." It's so funny because I know the moment he talks to Perry, he's going to be better off, and then he'll have the tools to be able to keep himself better off from that point forward. That's what your broader perspective is thinking. And because you two aren't thinking the same thing, you feel crappy, and your broader perspective is still at one because it doesn't deviate. That's why you feel the negative emotion, is because you deviate.
I I think, well, so what one of the things I'm receiving from you is that that specifically if we're going, I think I'm not trying to dwell on the movie. It's just it's a good object, kind of
It's
an
okay.
object
Yeah.
lesson, or
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
good like concept. Yeah,
Yeah.
more of a tangible thing to be able to
Yes.
speak on some of these ideas, principles.
Yes.
And so what I'm receiving from you is that was created from someone's experience, relating to those topics or themes, and he was trying to share, ideas, concepts about, because the one of the themes of the movie is forgiveness. Him like basically beating himself, like his heart was breaking, and he was staying in this place of his heart being broken. In fact, his ex-wife Michelle Williams, I guess the girl from Dawson's Creek or whatever that's in it, she was saying, my heart breaks too, but you have to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Our children aren't coming back. Like, you have to move forward. You have to make a life for yourself. You can't just like, you know, and he even said, it's like, I can't do it. I'm stuck. I can't win this. I can't beat the, he says, I can't beat this. He says it like that, like this feeling of stuckness and so I think a big part of the movie, why that was created, and maybe the audience, maybe I was tuning in momentarily to, get some of those, or because those resonate with maybe, you know, probably closer to who I've been in the past, kind of,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
not so far in the
revisiting.
past, Damien, because you've been expressing
It's
this
true. Yeah.
stuckness in our sessions for quite some time. So I want you to focus on the following aspects of this movie, not so much as to the general nature of the positive message in the movie as it relates to the general population, but think of it as it relates to your own personal, intimate creation. You attracted and resonated with that movie because that movie was showing you all of the aspects that you embody in your belief constellation. And his character, Casey Affleck's character, and his wife are both you. Part of you is saying, snap out of it. And the other part of you is saying, I can't. And so
Yeah.
the balance of that leaves you where you are. And I'm now saying to you, Damien, knock it off, man. Stop being intellectual
Yeah.
and take some action. Take some action. And I'm talking about
Good.
vibrational,
Yeah.
positively, yeah, taking that kind in that realm. Take some
Yeah.
action and watch what happens. Watch how much better you feel.
Um, yeah, there's a beautiful scene in the movie where she says, like, I love you, like, I love you, I love, like, move forward, move forward. I love you, move forward. Like, this is ex-wife saying, I said all these hurtful things to you. I didn't mean them. I was hurting, but you got to move forward. I love you. I didn't mean those things. Like, move forward. So, and
So so again,
yeah,
your
yeah,
what you just shared is amplifying what I just said. So your broader
yeah,
perspective is uh, in a way is reflected in his wife saying those things. Your
yeah.
broader perspective wants you to move forward, Damien.
Um,
Did you hear what I just said? It's really
I
important.
did. Yeah.
Okay. So then put that into practice right now, which sounds like stop talking about Manchester by the Sea.
I guess something I'm still and this is something I think you've kind of expressed along the way and expressed in
Mhm,
the past, is like
mhm.
the most we have to offer the world is by being the person we're truly supposed to
Your
be.
authentic expression, yes. And there's no limit to the expansion of your authentic expression. In other words, you can never fully express your authentic expression.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, I guess I had questions about that maybe for another time, but I don't know if it's the religious or the programming or the religious whatever. I don't know if it's religious necessarily or just general programming or um and it has to do with like kind of prosperity and abundance kind of stuff too.
It has more to do, it has to do with a lot more topics, but that's included, yes.
But it's like part of me still has this desire to serve and help others, and part of me recognizes, the work that we're doing and says, like, this is the best way to help other people
By
is
far,
to be my best self, to be healthy,
yes.
happy, to be alive, vibrant, to be motivated, to be life
Inspired,
running on all cylinders,
yes.
being inspired and inspiring others,
Yes.
and then part of me is like, and then other parts of me are like, well, is other parts of me are still wondering if that's true. It seems like it would be obvious, right? But other parts of wondering if that's really true. Other parts of wondering me are wondering about, like, serving others and being humble and digging down deep
Old
and
belief, old beliefs. It's old belief
and
constellation.
yeah
So
and
so so think about it, Damien. When we
yeah
were going through the exercise and we got you up to 2 and 1, you had a different connection and perception of the last 5 days. Totally different. So what you're expressing now is this: in the now moment where you are connected to your broader perspective through this conversation, you have one set of beliefs, active, and causing you to feel a certain way. It's the beliefs that say, wow, being at my best is the best way I can serve other people, because then I'm inspired. And if I'm inspired, I'm receiving my broader perspective messages. And if I'm receiving my broader
the
perspective
t-ball all the
messages,
time. Yeah,
yes,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
And out of those actions, I will serve other, because that's who I am at the core of who I am. So you have that set of
yeah,
beliefs active, but you also still, and this is important, still
energize,
have
yeah,
you still
yeah,
have momentum from the other set of belief constellations, the belief constellations that will run you over automatically because you've believed them for so long. So you have to culture, you have to nurture these new belief constellations that we're working on, so that they can have the same momentum or more than these. Because what happened in the last 3 minutes, Damien, is you were in
yeah,
this belief constellation of pure positivity, and it collapsed in the face of the old momentum when you started talking about them. It's a perfect demonstration of what I'm talking about. So you have to create more momentum in this space so that this will collapse and become this. And the way you do that is, as I've said, every moment, every day, you must be taking action in this space. You have to look at things that are positive. You have to stay in appreciation, or at least in optimism, about what's going
yeah,
on in your life. And you do that not by letting life make you feel it. You create it from within you through the statements, like we did in this exercise. And then you put a framework in place so that when you wake up in the morning, you're appreciating what's going on. In the afternoon, you go for a walk and you appreciate what's going on. And in the evening, you're turning in and you appreciate what's going on and what's about to go on the next day. And in between those three segments, you're constantly looking at aspects in your life that feel good to look at. This is the work, Damien. You cannot, don't take this the wrong way. You
um
cannot fill your Facebook wall with a bunch of memes and expect to feel good all the time. You can't. You have to take the action.
Um, I guess something that's coming to mind is that I don't have to I don't have to believe, like, just like I was earlier. I don't have to be in a place of belief. I can be in a place of knowing, because if I put these to practice, like if I'm being energized, if I'm being positive and optimistic every day, I'll see the result of that. I'll see how I connect easier, have the energy to, not only live from a full well, but also to have that wellspring, you know, flow over to other people.
Beautiful.
I won't have to like force myself away from those other belief constellation. It will just happen organic, just like
Beautiful.
naturally and slowly, organically. Like I guess I'm putting, and this is, a tendency I've had in the past, is to put all this pressure. Like I have to everything figured out like right now, instead of just,
Yes.
live it
That's
out
right.
and see it.
That's right.
I put all this pressure that I have to have everything figured out on a specific, instead it can be so, and I
And,
put a lot of pressure on. I don't know why. It's
when you
just,
don't, well, I
yeah.
know why, but we don't need to go there. And
Okay.
when you don't, when you believe you have to have it all figured out and you don't have it all figured out, which you never can, then you get into that self-denigration space, because you believe that you should have it figured out, and you don't, and you never will. So, but if you can move into the place that you just described, where you don't have to have it all figured out, you'll notice that the universe has it all figured out and is showering you with figured it out. And when you're in that space of figured it out, then you come into the knowing. And that's why the knowing is higher on the scale than belief, because knowing is born of visceral life experience, where belief is just belief. It's just like, oh, I believe it, but I don't see it. You can believe it and not see it. That's why belief is below
Yeah.
knowing.
Yeah. I
Really
don't
good.
have to trust myself when I can trust the universe. I don't.
That's right.
Maybe is that okay?
So here's the thing.
Or
That's the
trusting
starting.
the universe helps me trust. I don't know. I
Yes.
don't. Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. When you begin to trust the universe will show you more evidence of why you can be trusted as the universe.
Mm.
You are the universe, Damien. You don't believe it yet. You don't know it yet. You
Yeah.
believe it from time to time, but you don't
I
know it
still
yet.
wrestle with the duality. Yeah.
Yes.
Just being
Yes.
apart, being disconnected, being on,
Yes.
and being alone. That's the, that feeling of being, which I've even expressed that in the past. Like I'm not alone. Like universe has literally said, you're not alone. Like you're, and still I'm a knucklehead, and like,
Yeah.
because yeah, and when you believe you're alone, it also forces you to have that impatience of connecting with all these people,
Trying to
and
fill a
romantically,
hole.
yeah,
That's right. That's right. And that hardly ever works. Hardly ever works. And it's not any fun. It's far more fun knowing that you're never alone, and then to have the universe show you that you're never alone by bringing you everyone that you want into your life experience that's a perfect match to you. That's what this work is all about, right? It's all about creating that match. But here's the thing. This is why I'm kind of tricky in this space, especially with
yeah.
Transamorous Network clients, because the match I'm actually helping people fortify is not the match with their ideal partner. It's the match
It's
with
you
their,
and yourself. Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yeah,
yeah, yeah. We've talked about that before,
yeah,
but it's good to remind, yeah, to get that
yes,
reminder,
yes.
or not even matching you, to show you you already are matched, to live in the reality of something you already have, but you don't know you don't
That's right.
have this knowing, this per I almost like to use the word, this there should be this pervasive, consistent, like, connection that you should be cultivating,
That's right.
that it's like the
That's
soil,
it.
keeping the soil, help, keep
That's
from,
it.
you're working on the soil, all the plants and everything, and the fruit of that is the, they talk about it, if if you have, the tree has good condition, then the fruit and everything is just, it's a side effect of, it's a natural conclusion from, or
Yes.
whatever, yeah.
Yes. And
So
before long, if you continue to tend that relationship, the momentum of the relationship will take over, and you will be tended by the relationship.
mm, well, that's even more optimistic than, yeah. So because that's like saying you're, yeah, it's like the, yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. this is a good place to end. This has been a extraordinary session, Damien. And what I'd like to do, if you're okay, and you don't have to be, is just put this thing on YouTube as an example of what happens, because it's such a classic example. It's okay if you don't want to. I'm totally fine with not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could. I mean, I think it would be a positive step. Like so part of me is saying like the higher part of me is saying it would be a positive step and everything.
100%.
Perhaps like edit it maybe a little bit. I don't know if you edit things or you just put it out raw. But yeah, part of me likes the idea, and part of me is scared, obviously. But I don't know what there is to be scared of. I mean, there's nothing to be.
It would really serve. It would really serve.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about anything specific. Actually, it was interesting. We even talked about the movie I was, watching, which is, and I thought that was really kind of interesting. That would be really, because I felt like that's pretty fundamental. Like we see this beauty in things, and we want to gravitate toward it. We put it on a pedestal, but we realize that maybe there's something else that is supposed to be. Anyway, I think it would be good. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I
okay,
agree.
good. So
I think what the most positive feeling I have, and this is often when is like it makes sense of what I was feeling the last week. Like why? Because there's often sometimes it doesn't feel good in the moment, but there's like it gives reason and purpose for what I was like the reason I was feeling, the reason I was gravitating. Like the universe is always trying to show us stuff. It's always trying to.
That's right.
So.
Yep. The question is, you can't hear that. You can't hear that if you're not on that frequency, which is why you're asking, what the hell's going on?
Well, I was seeing glimpses of it, but I wasn't, seeing the full picture. So okay.
There's so much. There's so much good stuff in store for you, man. I mean, some of my clients are really struggling in the last 2 weeks. Some of them are really struggling. And the reason why they're struggling is because they got to a level at which now they have to contend with their bogus beliefs. And so the thing is, my clients think that because up until this moment, their lives have been going fantastic. And now they're in this shit. And they're like, did I regress? And I'm like, no, you didn't regress. This is the progress. It's progress to begin contending with the bullshit. But you just weren't ready to deal with it. You had to have these positive experiences to give you the oomph so that you could boost through this part. Yeah.
I think for me, something that, and I see over the last week, something is a question I have is like, what is real? And this is something I always struggle with. Like, what is real? I don't mean like reality or whatever. I mean like, what is real living? What is real, like being here and being engaged, and why are we here? Like not just going through a day, like passing, going through the motions. I even had this discussion with a lady at work. She was, she was being compassionate and sympathetic because I was saying, I was being honest with her because we kind of built a little bit of relationships. I've been feeling like I'm kind of going through the motions lately. Like what is, what is real? Like what is real living? What does it mean to be alive from day to day? And so I think that even comes back to, me falling back into some, of the belief constellation. Well, that's real. Being connected with Jesus and serving and sacrificing and being a martyr. That's real living, suffering, what things we talked about. And so, but I mean, I've already been down those roads and I realize a lot of that stuff's still empty too.
Yes.
I mean, there can be beauty in that, but that doesn't mean like, we talked about earlier, like you can mind that, mind for beauty. Just anyway, so I think that's what one of the I wouldn't say the word struggle, but something I've been wrestling with over the last week. Like what is, and some of that is from the super, the fighting the anyway. So well, and then not going back on the dating sites, because that's been an easy distraction for me, and so not been doing that. So it's just like, well, what do I because I've already, I drew a line in the sand. I'm like, I know I've already explored that enough. I've already had enough conversations with Perry and other people that I know that's not the answer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
It's really not. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. It's going to be
Okay.
fun to go through these next few months. All
Okay.
right. Have a good evening. Reach out
Thanks,
if you
Perry.
need to via text, okay?
Okay, I will.
All right.
Have a
All
good
right.
night.